Yeah, how's it going?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. Thank you so much for being on the show this evening. Truly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
I'm excited as well. I played two songs of yours prior to you calling
Oh,
in. I played Let Me In, and I also played Bush Light Budget.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for playing those. Yeah. Let Me In's an old one.
yeah. So I like the tracks, and
Mhm.
shout out to everyone on the local music scene out of Nashville, because truth be told, I've been interviewing a lot of y'all recently, and I'm doing this out of Kentucky.
Mhm.
So I've interviewed all types of artists: country, blues, rock, jazz, hip hop, all genres.
Mhm.
No discrimination on this show.
Yeah.
So we take all comers around here, and
Yeah.
we're glad to have you on. What made you decide to be a singer songwriter?
Well, I always grew up, from the time I was 6 years old, I knew it's what I wanted to do, singing wise. I knew that I wanted to be on stage, basically. Um, and then growing up, it's just one of those things. My outlet was musical theater, but country was always what I loved. There was just no way to do it growing up in Connecticut. And then when I, got a bit older, I went to school for a year to Indiana U for a year. Within a few months, I asked my parents if I could move to Nashville the following year. And, the songwriting aspect kind of just came about because I want to sing what I'm feeling. I don't want someone to tell me what to say. I'm not very good at doing that, being told what to do. So it's really about singing. I write just because it's what I feel the most while singing on stage. And also you get a lot more respect, I think, when you write your own music.
Very, very true. Just the whole songwriting process in particular. Like, sometimes it takes an hour to get a song done. Sometimes it takes a day. It may even take a year.
Yeah.
It just takes inspirations from places and areas that people may not know of, and just
Yeah.
something about the songwriting process. I talk to a lot of songwriters, and they go through that whole process of just putting a song together and how it came to be. Some just happens out of nowhere. Could be like a
Yeah.
blessing in disguise. Now, for you as a songwriter, what inspires you as a songwriter? What what type of feeling that you get, when you go through the whole songwriting process?
Well, usually my songs are inspired. Well, they're all inspired by true life, obviously, because that's what I like to sing about. A lot of them I'll hear or think of just a phrase, and then the song will come about that way. So, like I met a guy when I first moved down here, and I just kept thinking, because he was so sweet, I kept thinking, oh, I bet your mama raised you right. And then that's actually the first line of the chorus in my first single. It was just a digital single, but it's I could tell your mama raised you right. My, oh, my, you're one heck of a guy. And so but most of my songs are based around that. So even if it's not the whole song, the storyline isn't exactly what I've gone through. Every song I write has some derivative of true life in my life.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Artists like yourself are willing to talk songs about experience that you've been through or someone else's experience, and then
Hmm.
people hear these songs and be like, man, you know what, I can relate to that song, or I can relate to that
Yeah.
person's situation. And music connects people. It has no labels. um,
Hmm.
and it's just a good look. Nashville in
Yeah.
particular, that it is the country mecca of the world. If you
Hmm.
definitely want to make a name for yourself as a country singer, I mean, you either visit there or you live there. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in Kentucky that's performed there. Not all of them are country singers per se. For you have lived in Nashville for quite some
Hmm.
time. doing your music,
Yeah.
doing shows there. How has the support been for you? You know, being from Connecticut, you moving over here. How has the support has been for you since you've been here?
Well, the majority of people are so nice and so supportive. I'm lucky enough and blessed that I have an extremely supportive family. And I'm also lucky enough and blessed to have met a really good team around me who, really care about not just my business, that business aspect, but also me as a person. And that's really what you need, especially being a newly 21-year-old in a city that I moved here a couple years ago and I didn't know anyone. So I've been blessed that way. When it comes to strangers, the majority of people have been so sweet, so supportive. I have so many just people who believe in me, and that's awesome. Of course, once in a while you'll get the internet troll on my stuff, but that doesn't mean anything to me. It's all about, the positives, and I'm overwhelmed by the amount of support I've been getting down here since I moved here.
Yes, those pesky internet trolls. Especially those who don't have the talent that you have and feel the need to take out their frustrations on you. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Those
Well, that's the thing is the majority of them are behind fake screen names, so you can't take them seriously. They're just getting their anger out on you. And once in a while I'll get a really good, constructive criticism, which I openly take. That's so nice that people do that. But yeah, the ones who are just cursing, you out, it's just ridiculous. So I don't look at that kind of stuff. I just look at all the support that I've been getting from the majority of people who come across my music.
Yeah, that's definitely the term that I hear a lot in music, constructive criticism. If there's a way to do it, and then there's the troll, booing and listening, giving you negative reviews and things like that under the fake names or whatever.
Yeah.
What has been the constructive criticism that you get that you can learn, that you can just look at it and say, okay, I need to do something better, or performance wise or music wise?
Well, especially when I first moved here, because I grew up doing musical theater. So, a lot of artists, I think, and I was the same way when I was younger. It's, you're very, no, this is how I sing, this is how I do it. No one gets to tell me what to do. But I moved here and I met a really wonderful singing coach, Judy Rodman, and she was like, girl, you got it, but we need to take what you have and we need to form it into who you want to be. And so, I could have said, no, I don't want to work with you anymore. But I have become, taking that constructive criticism, to do less vibrato in my voice, taking all these lessons. I could have just said, no, I don't want to work with you because you want to change me. But I didn't. I took advice from a pro, and I can't, anyone that you ask who I knew when I first moved here, and compared to now, they're just like, your voice has, transformed because of Judy. So that's kind of the biggest example of constructive criticism. That was probably the hardest one to get used to too. When I first moved down here, it was just about my vocals. Yeah.
So, on to the songs at hand, especially this particular song, Bush Like Budget. It's quite a very interesting name for a song. If you don't mind, Miss Julia, please talk about the songwriting process and what is this song all about per se?
Yeah, so it came about because I was with a couple of friends in the beginning, in springtime, and we were going to the grocery store, and we were looking at all these nice, drinks, and they had all these champagnes, and we ended up walking out of the store with some cheap beer. I can't remember exactly what it was, and we got in the car, and we were talking. All of the guys were complaining, like, of course we walk out with this, we didn't get any of the nice stuff. But in my head, it was kind of like, why are we complaining? We're still having a great time. We're still getting turned, and we have each other. And, it doesn't matter if the beer's cheap. We're still having a fun life and a great life.
That's quite a track, I tell you. It's definitely one of those drinks that you can just vibe to, and while you're taking a drink as well.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go and say, not to get too out of hand, please, if you're gonna drink, please drink responsibly. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna go, if you are physically unable to drive yourself to the place or home, get yourself a designated driver. Get one of your friends that are not intoxicated.
We made an effort in the music video. We actually had a girl I went to Michael's and got a bunch of craft stuff, and I made a shirt that said designated driver. So one of the girls in the video, so that we put out that message. She wasn't drinking throughout the whole video, and then at the end she has the shirt on. So it's kind of showing that message too, that we had someone there.
Well said, well said. Definitely check out the video. Definitely check out the record and the rest of Julia's music. She's doing big things in Nashville, and she's got a lot more to come. Who are your musical influences? Those that inspire you? It could be like indie artists, local artists, mainstream artists, any type of artist for that matter. But who are your musical influences?
Well, I grew up listening to a lot of like old rock, like Eagles, Bruce Springsteen, and Fleetwood Mac were my main ones. So I've always just loved, the fact that they didn't sound so polished. All their voices have a roughness to it, and they sound, different. You can hear Stevie Nicks anywhere at any time, and it's Stevie Nicks. So I loved that, and then, growing up and loving country music, I remember when Carrie Underwood won American Idol, and I just, from then on, she was, when it comes to vocals, her range and her power, she's my biggest vocal inspiration, I'd have to say, because she's just insanely good.
That is Bruce Springsteen, the boss. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. he definitely gets the crowd going. He's definitely got some good music. So, props to the boss.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You got any upcoming shows or any new music in the works that people need to keep an eye on?
Yeah, we just got back from Argentina, which was great. I performed at the San Pedro Country Music Festival. We had a blast over there. It's my biggest show yet, so it was awesome. The adrenaline, the people were so sweet. We had a great time, but because of that, we haven't really when it comes to shows, but we are at the beginning of the process to record my next single, which we know what it's going to be, so that's exciting, and I won't spread that news yet, but stay tuned for that announcement. It's going to be it's a bit of a more heartache song rather than Bush Light Budget, so keep an eye out for that.
Wait a minute, did you just say Argentina? Argentina?
Sorry?
Did you just say Argentina?
Yeah.
Wow. Girl from Connecticut out there in Argentina. That's cool. What was that experience like, just going there and learning the culture while you out there performing?
Yeah, it was so incredible, and the people were amazing over there, and the artists were outstanding as well. Just all the musicians who performed, I'm such big fans of all of them. It was great.
So for people that wants to learn more from your music, upcoming shows, where are the social media links, let alone your website people can go to, and also where can people go and purchase your music as well?
Yeah, so on my website, juliacapogrossi.com, it's Julia and then CAPOGROSSI.com. All my links to all my social medias there. And my 2 singles that have been out, you could get them on iTunes, on Spotify, pretty much any of those music outlets.
Spotify is definitely starting to become one of my favorite websites musically. And had that account recently, and then I kind of haven't used it for a while. Now I'm back to using it, so now I'm going to start making playlists and stuff. And since you are now officially a guest on the show, I'm starting to make a playlist of like 2017 guests, and you're gonna be on that list by default now. So
yeah,
so I'm just trying to get back on track with that. But Julia, it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for being on the show, and continued success. You got any final words to your fans out there, or anyone else in particular?
No, just thank you so much for everyone for all the support so far, and thank you so much for having me on your show.